Early academics is not necessarily a bad thing unless it replaces the child's natural cognitive growth, which occurs during play. Today, we're going to take another look at play, but this time its effect on physical and cognitive development. In researching play, I came across this book. It's actually written for parents, and although I'm not using it as a source, I loved what the review from Publishers Weekly had to say about this book, so I thought I'd share that with you. Authors and child psychologists Hirsch, Pasek, Galinkoff, and Ayer joined together to prove that training preschoolers with flashcards and attempting to hurry intellectual development does not pay off. In fact, the authors claim kids who are pressured early on to join the academic rat race don't fare any better than children who are allowed to take their time. Alarmed by the current trend toward creating baby Einsteins, Hirsch, Pasek, and Galinkoff urge parents to step back and practice the 3 R's: reflect, resist, and recenter. Instead of pushing preschoolers into academically oriented programs that focus on early achievement, they suggest that children learn best through simple playtime, which enhances problem-solving skills, attention span, social development, and creativity. Play is to early childhood as gas is to a car, say Hirsch, Pasek, and Galinkoff, explaining that reciting and memorizing will produce trained seals rather than creative thinkers. Creative and independent thinking, they argue, are true 21st century skills. Although play has obvious effects on the child's physical development, the physical aspects of play can't be separated from the cognitive. And as we examine these two areas, we're also going to take a look at play and brain research. Research has shown that children can indeed use play to scientifically reason about novel objects in their environment and to test hypotheses about how those objects operate. Studies have demonstrated that when young children are presented with a puzzling new toy, their first instinct is to engage in exploratory play, touching and manipulating parts of the toy to figure out how it works. Recently, the field of education has experienced a push to develop the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math skills that are important to success in the 21st century. According to Gelfer and Perkins, through play with objects like blocks, sand, balls, crayons, and paper, children begin to understand logical, scientific thinking, such as the concept of cause and effect. They also practice mathematical skills such as measurement, quantification, classification, counting, ordering, and part-whole relations. In psychological terminology, the cognitive abilities concerning thought and emotion are known as executive function. They involve a group of related processes, including inhibition of impulses, working memory, and planning. Executive function develops rapidly in childhood, concurrent with maturation of the prefrontal brain region, and continues to strengthen until mid-20s. Early executive function abilities can be developed through play, especially through pretend or dramatic play, and they have been implicated in school readiness, as well as the development of memory, attention span, intelligence, morality, and emotion regulation. Moreover, measures of executive function at age 4 have been shown to predict a host of long-term outcomes, including physical health, substance dependence, personal finances, and even criminality. Experimental studies have further shown direct effects of pretend play on children's self-regulatory abilities. Such research is contributing to a strong case that building a child's executive function skills should be a priority in early childhood. According to Sergio Pellis, a researcher at the University of Lethbridge in Alberta, Canada, the experience of play changes connections of the neurons at the front end of your brain. And without play experience, these neurons aren't changed, he says. It is those changes in the prefrontal cortex during childhood that help wire up the brain's executive function control center discussed in the last slide, which has a critical role in regulating emotions, making plans, and solving problems. So play, Pellis adds, is what prepares a young brain for life, love, and schoolwork. But to produce this sort of brain development, this increase in BDNF, children need to engage in plenty of so-called free play. The brain builds new circuits in the prefrontal cortex to help it navigate these complex social interactions. Physical play, also known as locomotor play or exercise play, involves physical activity in a playful context such as kicking, running, jumping, chasing, and climbing. Unfortunately, despite the potential physical and cognitive benefits, it is one of the most endangered forms of play in our schools and society. Recess in schools is disappearing at an alarming rate. Promoting the physical benefits of locomotor play is perhaps more relevant today than any other time in recent history. Obesity among children is at an all-time high. According to the American Heart Association, approximately 1/3 of American children between the ages of 2 and 19 are overweight or obese. In addition to practicing gross motor skills, children receive vast health benefits from physical activity, including aerobic endurance, muscle growth, strength, coordination, growth stimulation of major organs, and increased bone mineral content. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggest that children aged 6 through 17 should play for 60 minutes per day. For some children who live in urban or unsafe areas, recess may be their only active physical outlet. Studies show that children naturally gravitate to physical play given the chance, and giving children time to play could contribute to immediate and deferred physical health benefits. Over the past few classes, we've seen the impact of play on all areas of child development. By providing children with opportunities for rich play experiences, we can help them to grow and develop in these areas. Although academics is vital, after all, that's what education is all about, we can't ignore the influence that play elicits for motivated, healthy, and happy children, a productive society, and as a foundation to learning.